when I make it,
then I'm gonna enjoy it.
then I'm gonna enjoy it. Like, I'm not one of those people. So stop overthinking, Elaine. Stop overthinking. Just do things. You just want to do things that are authentic to you. Because the thing is, like, if you carry on doing content that might necessarily appeal to a larger audience, but it's not the content that you feel is true to you, you're gonna burn out.
Yeah, you're gonna burn out.
But
all right, welcome, Elaine.
thank
Nice
you.
to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Me and you actually met only once. I don't even know how many years ago.
I don't even know how we met.
Yeah.
How did we meet? I actually can't remember.
It was on a shoot. It was on a shoot with Jamie. Something was happening. Who knows?
Yeah.
This was like probably 5 years ago now.
It was like ages ago. It was
Yeah.
like before COVID.
Yeah, it was.
That's how long ago it
Let me get
was.
this mic a little bit closer. You can move it around as well.
Let me move it around. Let me get
Yeah.
the mic close to me.
Yeah. You can swim.
Do I?
Yeah,
Ooh, you
exactly.
can adjust it. Okay.
You can do whatever you want with it.
Oh, okay.
All right. So a bit about you. Like you, obviously, main thing is, for what I know, you is singer, songwriter.
Yes. Correct. Music.
Very like your sort of culture is a big part of who you are. Obviously,
Definitely.
Turkish, Sierra Leone.
It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah,
but-
it is. Yeah, South London as well.
Of course, that's a whole personality trait in
Yeah,
itself.
it is. So, like, just give me like a bit of a rundown. So, because you're fluent in Turkish,
I am.
Like,
I would say like maybe like 89%.
89%. Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's how I feel about Bulgarian. To be fair. So yeah. Okay, so were you born here or born in Turkey?
So I was born in London. I was
Yeah.
born in South London,
Yeah.
Lewisham Hospital. And then what happened was my mum and dad basically had me while they were still like studying. So they kind of shipped me off to my grandparents in Turkey. So I spent about like 2.5, 3 years of like my childhood like in Turkey, maybe between the ages of like 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Or like 1, 2 to 6. I don't know the exact maths, but
Okay, yeah.
So I got shipped off to Turkey with my grandparents, and Turkish is actually like my mother language because I kind of learnt that first while my parents were kind of like sorting their life out.
Yeah.
And I came back to London when I was about 5, and then just been in South London ever since. And I've just been going back to Turkey every summer, as you do when you're like a child of immigrants. You just go back every summer.
100%. Whereabouts in Turkey?
So my family is from Aydın, the Aydın province. We're from a smaller town called like Nazilli. And then so my mum spent a lot of her youth in Izmir because of her like university. But I spent like the little childhood part of my life in Nazilli. So yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, a lot of people don't expect that. I have like so the province is like Ege. So I have like an Ege accent when I speak Turkish as well.
Right. So it's like there's a whole lot to it.
There's a whole lot to it. Yeah, I'm a
Nice.
cocktail.
And then when did the singing come about?
I've always sung. So I got into my school via music scholarship. It was actually a music and sports scholarship, but I kind of dropped the sports scholarship maybe like in year 8
Yeah.
or just the beginning of year 9. So I've always done music. I actually got into the music scholarship by like a high school musical performance. You know that song by like, what was it? It was like, imported from Paris. I can't remember the song, but it was basically a high school. Yeah, it was a high school musical performance, and I sang that, and I also did like violin and piano.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, I dropped piano and violin, and I just focused on the vocals. So I
Okay,
got up
yeah.
to like grade 8 with my vocals. So I did quite a lot, and then ever since then, I think in school though, it's hard to find yourself creatively because you do grades. So because I did grades in music, I feel like I didn't really discover myself musically throughout that time. So it's only when I left school, I kind of started to play around with my music. And yeah, that's where I am now, kind of still exploring my sound, what genre I like. And the thing is, it changes as you...
Yeah, 100 as you
develop
grow.
as well,
Yeah, of course. Would you think like the sort of grading system, sort of what ended up happening was you sort of just end up focusing on the grades, like going like 6, 7, 8, whatever, rather than actually developing creatively? Is that kind of what you mean?
Yeah, I feel like in secondary school, like while I was in the grade, I feel like I didn't even know myself musically at all. And the thing is, I feel like because I was of like a like black heritage, I was kind of like given like the jazz songs, like for grades, like you're given like the jazzy songs, which is fine. But I just feel like that part of like my life didn't at all. I mean, it probably did influence it, but I think I really discovered myself when I left the grading system.
Yeah, okay,
100%.
Yeah. So that kind of give it like a nice foundation of like
I think so.
that's how to do things. Then
Yeah.
that allowed you then to go out and creatively explore.
Exactly,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Bit of a, I guess, like sidetrack, but I think it's all within the same world. Like you had a video that went viral recently. You know, like your Insta reel one where your family and your mom.
Yeah. I reposted that again and it went viral again.
Really nice. Yeah, like.
Did you see that one? Everyone's yeah. I had a really crazy. Everyone's seen that one.
Yeah, it's a big one. Yeah, I was showing my girlfriend. I was like, yeah, this girl's coming. I've seen this video.
Oh my god!
Yeah. It's like what?
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So, how do you think, like, and kind of following from that, obviously, like I said earlier, like culture is like a big part of you. I just want to like kind of the three main cultures and see kind of like what you get out of them. I think the one I personally find the most interesting because it's kind of like part of me as well. Like, it's obviously I'm Bulgarian. I grew up there.
They have very similar cultures.
Yeah. And Turkey is like very similar. So like, what do you find about the Turkish culture that like, really like speaks to you?
It's a big one because I think it's changed throughout the years. I think when I was younger, because I grew up in South London, there wasn't a very big Turkish community where I grew up. So I think when I initially started to connect to my Turkish culture, I initially started doing videos on YouTube. That's how I kind of initially got the Turkish audience that I have. So I think the reason why I started that is because I felt like I was lacking community. So I would go to Turkey in the summer, spend like maybe 3-4 weeks there, and then come back, and it was just like you go from like being like Turkified to then coming back to London, and then you don't really have anyone to share it with. So I think when I initially connected to my Turkish culture, I was kind of searching for a sense of community, and then once I kind of started doing that, obviously like online, you know, I started realizing. I mean, I always knew I looked different anyway. So I got a lot of attention in terms of the fact that, you know, I don't look Turkish and you know, I speak like broken Turkish. And then, so at first it was kind of just like the fact that I was like quite different, which kind of, I like the fact of, you know, how that kind of implemented my Turkish culture, because I like the fact that, you know, I was different and it was kind of showing like a different side of Turkish culture that maybe like someone that's fully Turkish might not be able to like, you know, express. And then now I would say very recently the new niche of audience that I've attracted with like the Turkish people that actually live outside of Turkey, because I think when I initially started connecting to that audience, it was like Turkish people inside Turkey, in Turkey. And now it's like, they're going to roast me for not saying Turkey, but you know what I mean, okay? People are like, oh, why should you say Turkey and not Turkey? But when I speak Turkish, I say Turkey, okay? Don't roast me.
There we go.
But yeah, so this is for the Western audience.
Exactly.
But yeah, recently I feel like I've started to connect with the Turks outside of Turkey. And I think with that, I feel like it's really like, wow, like we've actually had like the similar upbringings, because obviously like we've lived in like Western countries, but we still have certain things that we can connect with. So I think recently it's like the relatability that I love about my Turkish culture. Like even though like we're here, there's certain things that we like, oh my God, you know, we can connect with. So I think I like that.
Nice.
I don't know if that answered the question.
No, yeah, sort of, yeah. And like, welcome to Haringey. I've not been here. It's
my God, guys. This guy brought me to Haringey. I actually had a TikTok video that I was like, guys, you know, I've never been Haringey. And now I'm in Haringey.
Oh, there's like, it is Turkish central out here. Yeah. And I used to live in like even a bit more north from like near Wood Green. And like Wood Green, like that whole Green Lanes is like.
Really? Yeah, on my bus,
it's like Turkish mafia. It's crazy.
Wood Green. I might go to Turkish restaurant today actually while I'm in here, because I'll probably never come back here again. Well, actually, never say never.
Yeah, never say never. There's banging. There's loads of, I mean, Gokyuzu is like.
I heard that one. I might go there today.
Yeah. That's like just a classic. It's just Green Lanes. There's a few dotted about. I think there's like about 4 now. It's banging. Yeah. They're like, they're charcoal growers. It's good. Yeah, like it's being an immigrant in a creative one at that is quite like it's quite interesting, because obviously, like you said, initially you try and find community, right?
Yeah.
Well, especially when you're growing up, you try and find some sort of connection and relatability to other people, to people that have like a similar story to you, because then naturally that's just to people who you connect. Like it makes sense why like all Turkish people like go to Greenland, like all Portuguese people like go to Watford, and like all the Somalis go to like East London. You know, they're like people just like their culture, and like,
the
even
community.
if they're like in a different country, they'll still gravitate towards
naturally,
of course, because it's just like you can just connect so much easier.
Yeah.
100%. So like, it makes 100% sense how like initially, obviously, you're searching for like that community, and then it sort of developed into like more and more as you developed yourself as well.
I think creatively though, you do. I think especially someone from like mixed heritage as well, or especially maybe someone like you're Bulgarian but you've grown up here, so you obviously have like British culture in you as well. So I feel like when you do come from a mixed background, you do fluctuate between identity crises. Like I will say that I've been through that myself as well. Because obviously I also have like my Sierra Leonean culture as well, but because my dad hasn't been that, predominant in my life, that's not like as strong, but that's still there. But having that British culture and then that Turkish culture, like you do sometimes get like, okay, like what do I embrace? Like, do I embrace? Because I feel like it's hard to embrace like all of them at the same time.
Oh yeah,
it's quite difficult.
Yeah.
So I'm always fluctuating between like all the cultures, but trying to find the balance.
Yeah. No, don't blame you. And but what about Sierra Leone? Have you been?
I've never been to Sierra Leone. We're thinking about going in December for Christmas.
Nice.
I recently kind of had like a really big family gathering because it was my grandma's 80th birthday. So like all my family from like Sierra Leone, the States, they kind of came to celebrate her 80th. It was like
is that where you were wearing that like?
Yes, the ashobi. The traditional
like the
clothing.
purple and the white. Yeah, nice.
So it was really nice. It was really nice, like kind of like seeing all my family and kind of like connecting with that side of my culture. It's really nice. I am a West African girl as well.
West African, lovely. In South London. Well, and obviously you were born in Lewisham, and when you came back to London, did you go back to like Lewisham?
Yeah, so I've always been in Blueborough. I don't live like in Lewisham, but I'm in Blueborough, so Lewisham Borough. But yeah, always been a South London girl. I don't see myself like not living in South. I don't know. I feel like anytime I go to another area, I'm like,
it's not me.
It's not me.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, I feel more connected to North, 100%. I lived in like sort of in between Clapham South and Brixton. Like there's sort of that area. Lived there with Ella and other guy called Johnny.
I don't think I know that one. Yeah.
Anyway, you might have met Ella, but yeah, it was alright. But also, I find it that like I just know more people in North, so naturally I know more people here, and I feel more connected to them. I also lived in like Ali Pali for 3 years, Alexander Palace. So
okay. Is that the nickname for it, Ali Pali?
Ali Pali, yeah, Ali Pali. But it's just north of Wood Green. It's just like just there. I loved it. I was there for 3 years. It was banging.
I think it's also like what you're familiar with as well. Like I'm someone that loves to take myself out of their comfort zone, but I think if you're happy somewhere. Like, there's a difference between like happiness and comfort.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I think you just need
Yeah. It's not great to be comfortable all the time.
Yeah.
You have to you do have to go a bit of exploring, but at the same time, you do want a bit of peace.
Exactly.
A bit of peace, mate. You know what I mean? It's like you can't be. I don't know. Maybe you can be outside your comfort zone all the time, but anyway. And you moved here back when you were like 6, 7.
Like 5. So I was only in Turkey for like maybe 2.5 years.
And then you kept going back and back.
Yeah, every summer.
Nice.
Yeah. Back in the days, the schools were a lot more lenient about like holidays. So I think I was in Turkey for like 4 weeks.
Nice.
To 8.
Nice. Lovely.
So
lovely.
She didn't get in trouble.
But. Yeah. And then you kind of, from my knowledge anyway, like your first sort of music that like made any, I guess like waves was like, from YouTube, like you started doing covers.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And then is that when you started connecting? And then I think you started connecting with Turkish audience initially, right?
Yeah. So how it started was, as like I said previously, I kind of started my social media presence on YouTube. So that's when I started doing like the Turkish content. And then because I already had that foundation, I already had the Turkish content, I was like, let me try releasing Turkish music first. So it was never a case of like, oh, like, let me just like, go to Turkey and try to like do it then, like, so it was like my first ever, musical, appearance. And because I already had that audience, I was like, why not? But I think what I found was, I think as a creative grows, they realize that as they grow themselves, like their interests change, the kind of content that they want to identify with changes. So I think what I found was when I was making that Turkish content specifically for Turkey and making that Turkish music, it was like trying to make stuff that I thought the mass audience would like. So I think that's in the past year, I think that's the shift that I've, experienced recently, where I just want to start creating content that was a bit more authentic to me. So things like, even though like I have like Turkish culture, like the fact is that, I didn't grow up in Turkey. Like there's a lot of things that you can't connect to an audience in terms of like community, upbringing, economically. There's a lot of differences, even though we have that side of us that I was, brought up in London. So I think what I was finding is I couldn't connect with that audience. And it's just a case of me just being like this cute, fluffy girl that spoke broken Turkish, that it was just entertaining.
Yeah.
So I think I did that shift last year where, as I was saying, I tried to find that niche of maybe a Turkish community that was just outside of Turkey, and we had a similar upbringing, being in Europe, being outside of Turkey. So that's when I also was like, you know what, I'm just gonna start also doing English-speaking music, because that's what I've always known, that's what I've always wanted to do, and that's what I can connect with. So initially I did start doing the Turkish music, but now I'm just like, you just wanna, I think you also like get to a stage in life where like you just want to do things that are authentic to you, because the thing is like, if you carry on doing content that might necessarily appeal to a larger audience but it's not the content that you feel is true to you, you're gonna burn out.
You're gonna burn out.
So I think that's what I was experiencing. I was like I can't keep doing like this kind of content. So that's why I'm at now with like the English speaking music, and I still do like Turkish content, but it's like related to my lifestyle. It's nothing that I'm like putting on. It's like me having those like little like mini arguments with mum in the kitchen. It's like completely authentic. Because like we speak Turkish, like Turkish and English, and that's like normal.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. So what I find very interesting is like, have you always been quite like conscious of, and not just conscious, but like who your target audience is? Or have you just kind of like made stuff and you're like, okay, I'm just going to put it out there? Or you've been like, okay, I'm going to make stuff and it's going to be for this type of person? Because that's what it sounds like from what you just said. It's like you've been conscious about like, okay, this I'm making this content and I'm making this music that I know will appeal for this kind of person.
Yeah. In the past year, I'm very conscious about my audience. Because the thing is, like I said, like you want to be able to connect with an audience, and because the thing is like when you connect to an audience, it also makes you feel good. Like when you create something, there's no point of it like blowing and making like and going viral or whatever, and it's not even something that you wanted. So I think in the past I've been very conscious about my audience. Like I said, like I really do love the audience I have now, and even though it might be of a smaller niche, it's like a niche that makes me feel good, that I can connect with. Because the thing is like I'd rather connect to like a smaller audience and actually have, a space for conversation, rather than trying to connect to like a larger audience that I might not necessarily be able to connect with. Because I think still want to come across a lot of people that are like, oh, like Elaine, like, you're so cute when you like speak Turkish all the time. Why don't you just make that kind of content? Like so many people watch it, like you get so many views, but it's like, nah.
If you're not feeling it, then you're feeling it.
Do you know what I mean? Like I can't, the thing is that I can't just like try to go off by the fact that I look different and appeal to like a mass audience just because, of my image. Of course, like your image impacts anything you do, creatively, artistically, but there's a very thin line, So I have been very conscious of it in the past year, especially because like I'm incorporating like music that's very important to me as well. So you want to share things with an audience that's going to appreciate it. So you want to be conscious of that audience.
No, I agree. I just stop you there for 1 sec. It's so hot. I need to open this.
I know, I'm so hot.
Yeah, talking about like, obviously you're conscious about your audience. What I find quite interesting about that now is I feel like a lot of people that create, and like we're very much in a world surrounded by people that create a lot of stuff regardless of music, content, blogs, whatever. It can be quite hard to make stuff without knowing who you're making it for. I've speaking about myself, I've done that a lot where I kind of just make stuff, but if I don't really know who I'm making it for, you can kind of just get lost in the noise.
And it's hard as well, because the thing is like, do you even sometimes know who you're making it for? And then you also think, but I might be making it for that audience, but what if another audience likes it? Especially, I think with content, it's being niche is quite important. But I think with music, it's hard to have a niche because the thing is like, for example, I'm pretty sure in your playlist, like my playlist is like Afro beats, classic jazz.
Oh, yeah,
like I listen to everything. So I think musically, it's hard to find one niche. In content, yeah, you can have a niche because like only a certain type of people might like a certain type of content. But I think when you're trying to incorporate cultural content and music, I think that's when it gets a bit difficult. And I think that's the difficulty that I'm experiencing right now. Because it's like finding a balance between the actual content and the music content. It's just like, about are people that are going to like my cultural content going to like my music? Are people that are going to like my music going to like that? So it's like, it's hard. Because the thing is, you need to create content for music now as well. So
100%, yeah, you've got
so
to
much
promote
to think
yourself.
about.
Yeah, and then also you have to like, it all comes into one brand, really.
Exactly.
Because like that's what people end up knowing you for. So yeah, and how do you manage it now? Obviously you make music, but then you also have a job.
Yeah.
What do you do?
So I'm a dental nurse.
Okay.
I've recently become an assessor. So, getting a little bit more serious.
Yeah. An assessor, what's that?
So,
You assess.
So I'm an academic assessor. So what I do is I am a workplace assessor at the moment. So what my job entails of right now is I will go into dental practices and I will assess trainee dental nurses and see if they're meeting the criteria to earn themselves that qualification.
Right.
So I'm kind of going in there, making sure they're doing everything correctly. If they're not doing things correctly, areas I need to improve on. So because it's a practical job. It's a practical qualification. So you kind of need to go in there and just make sure they're doing what they're doing right.
Yeah.
So that's me. I go in there and I'll make sure they're doing their job.
And how long have you been doing this like dental stuff then? Is that a lot?
I've been a dental nurse since I was 18, 19.
Really? How old are you now, by the way?
I'm 26.
Is it? Okay,
Yeah.
Wow, long time.
Better cut that bit out.
Like, 26 is not bad.
I'm 25.
Yeah.
I just turned 26 again. I'm still 25.
Really? When did you turn?
April.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's, Core life crisis, but it's okay.
How are you feeling?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Why? What do you think stemmed? Like what?
I think I'm okay now, but I think. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You don't look good.
Yeah,
you don't look okay.
I'm okay now.
I think creatively you get a bit stressed out because even though like music and like the arts don't have an age, like I feel like you don't want to get to. I feel like I'm scared to get to a stage where I can't connect with like the younger generation or the younger audience, because the thing is like you feel like you're gonna get like dated. Do you know what I mean? But a lot of people think I'm a lot younger than I am. Because I have quite a playful personality. I'm quite playful. I'm quite silly. Like, I don't really, I'm serious and mature when I need to be, but I'm quite a playful character.
Yeah.
So everyone thinks I might be like 21, 22. So
Yeah.
we can just,
I don't think necessarily that's a bad thing though. Especially because like, you just said like, you're trying to move away from just trying to be like, oh, like funny, entertaining,
Exactly.
just like, which that type of thing does appeal to like a younger audience.
Yeah.
But like actually when you try and be authentic, like you said, it's like naturally you'll probably appeal to people that are similar age to yourself.
Yeah.
So I don't think necessarily it's a bad thing. Or it's like if you stop appealing to a younger audience, that's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
So
I think,
don't stress about it too much.
I'll try not to.
Yeah.
But I'm okay. Like, I'm good with it. I'm just I'm just enjoying the journey. And like you said, like with every age comes a new audience and a new group of people that you might connect with.
Yeah.
So I think I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
My mum gets me the older audience. and I maintain the younger one.
Yeah. And what's your like main creative like outlet right now? Obviously apart from music.
It's just my music and just like my content creation really.
Where do you make your content most on?
It'll be so at first it was TikTok. And then Reels really blew up. So my main focus is Reels. I feel like Reels has the audience that I want. TikTok is a very young audience. And I feel like, unfortunately, with TikTok, you kind of have to create what the platform wants you to create. That's what I feel like I'm experiencing with TikTok. With Reels, I feel like I can just post stuff about me and it still does well.
Yeah.
But with TikTok, I feel like if you don't really give it what it wants, I feel like it doesn't really push it.
Yeah.
I feel like TikTok is a bit of like a burnout platform for me. I feel like with Instagram, you can still post quality content, like maybe like 3 to 5 videos a week and still do well. But I don't think I just haven't been able to figure out TikTok algorithm.
Do you post the same stuff on Insta on TikTok?
Yeah, I do repurpose videos. I mean, I think on TikTok I post story times. On Instagram, I would try to move away from like that kind of long
Yeah, and then try and
content. On Instagram, it's more kind of just like more creative. Whereas on TikTok is like trash.
anything goes.
Yeah.
Like anything goes.
I feel like it's hard to be creative on TikTok. Like I feel like people just like trash content on TikTok. In my opinion, I feel like you can post more lower quality content on there and it does well.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so it's all a game. Like I was talking to you about before about like creatively, like how I'm kind of trying to move away from cameras and then trying to focus on the stuff that makes it work.
Yeah.
And like the more I do it, the more I'm like, yeah, like people, we're moving into such a new age of media.
Yeah.
Like yesterday I was doing a job with Macmillan.
Okay.
And no, we'd like turn up on set and we're like making these like digital social ads, whatever. And they're like 10-second adverts, and we know it was me and another guy. We both have like, you know, fancy cameras, whatever. But then also we're doing some stuff with iPhone as well. And I was speaking to like their like marketing lady, whatever. She was like, you know, film the stuff on your camera, it's fine, but please film on your iPhone because that's the stuff that's the stuff that does the best for us.
Crazy.
Like by far. And it's like okay, so.
You go there,
You saw this camera that like costs like thousands of pounds, and then like no one cares. Do you know what I mean? It's and I'm not sure if like trash is necessarily the right word, but it's like it's whenever people feel like
they can relate,
but they're not being sold to. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not being like this. It's not a content that's produced for them to like, I don't know, like I feel like people want to like for them to feel like they naturally discovered the content or they naturally came across it. Even if that wasn't the case, there's 100%. like there's definitely a bit of a trick there where you can like, you know, if it's not, you know, doesn't look highly produced, but you can still use like all those like, you know, storytelling tricks and narratives that are like, you know, timeless. You know, you have like
100%. Consumers don't like being sold to.
100%.
Even though they are being sold to, they don't like to feel like they're being sold to. Like,
100%.
Even like with music promo, you cannot tell people to listen to your song. They will not do it. They will not. If you go, please, can you do this? No chance.
Yeah, no one cares. Yeah,
no one cares. It's hard. It's hard. And like you said, like you go in there with all that high tech, and like now it's like, can you not record on your phone? It is crazy because I feel like we're also moving away, especially musically, we're moving away from like that idealistic generation where, you know, before like artists were like unreachable and people used to love that. You know, you're not gonna get like artists like MJ or Beyonce anymore. It's not gonna happen. Like, you know, that whole idealistic era is over. Like people wanna consume or listen to people that they feel they can relate to because why? It makes them feel better. That's just the way it is. Like, people don't like to be consume things by people that make them feel less of themselves. I feel like more nowadays. That's why like relatable content works because, you know, you can relate to that person. You can kind of have a sense of like, you know,
agree,
connections. But it's crazy because do you still record like, I feel like music videos are like not even that big of a thing anymore. Like people aren't even.
Well, you like it's they're just different. You know what I mean? Like it's not what they used to be. Like it now for me, like I haven't shot music videos in a long time. Like I still get asked once in a while, and I might do something if like, you know, the money's good or whatever. But
it's not as common.
It's just like for me now, whenever I'm making something, I need to know how that's actually helping the music, for example. For example, like before, you know, I used to like if I go into the job, like if I'm a director of photography, like filming it or directing or just. What I'm focusing on is like, what I was focusing on is like, oh, I want to make this like, this really like amazingly beautiful video. Where it's like, it doesn't matter. If essentially if more people don't click on it or it doesn't reach a wider audience or it doesn't like elevate the music, then that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how good
Yeah.
it looks. You know what I mean? Like that's secondary to like what its initial purpose is. And like that's not how I used to think of it. But now whenever like I go into a project, like the main thing is like the video or whatever content it is, it's meant to elevate the thing it's promoting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You need to somehow add to it.
I think now it's about how that video is going to be repurposed. Because
Yeah.
before you just go in there and just create art, but now it's like, okay, how can this video be repurposed for multiple uses rather than just standalone?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, there's a lot more to it, and it's still a bit of a grey area because also like big institutions take a way longer time to sort of adapt to these things. Like for example, like Warner and whatever. Like they still don't. They're getting way better at it, but they still don't really know. Like there's sometimes they'll just hire some like young cool kid to like do their TikToks just because like they do it. You know, they just that's
So
what.
that must that must be affecting you as well.
Nah, it is, but like I just like I said, it's like because now I'm getting to a point where I sort of understand it. You know what I mean? I'm taking advantage of it. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm not really romantic about cameras. I'm not really like, you know what I mean? I used to be, definitely used to. Oh yeah, I need to make this shot look good. Cool. It's important. Make it look good. But if it's like if it's not actually doing his job, then like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like just the same thing with the Macmillan thing. It's like, you know, if you film it, it looks amazing, but like people like watch it online and like don't care about it. Like it just doesn't feel relatable. It doesn't feel like whatever. Then like it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So for me, more than anything, it's just an opportunity, really, to sort of just like, okay, yeah, well, this is the way the movie.
But it's good that you are okay to adapt. Not a lot of creatives are. That's the thing. A lot of creatives are like, no, like they're stuck in their ways. They're just like, no, this is how I've always done it. This is how I want to do it. Because I think you get a lot of stubborn artists as well. Like whether that be video production, musically, you know, abstract art. You do get people that are quite stubborn and they don't want to move with the times.
Yeah.
So then that's when you kind of get stuck. But when you're okay to learn and you're okay to like kind of use that as an opportunity for like other things, and that's when you benefit from it. But I think when you don't want to adapt with change, that's when it gets difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Because even musically, there's a lot of like, I find there can be a lot of like lazy artists in the sense where it's just like, well, I make good music. So why do I have to create like, Drake didn't have to create TikTok videos. You know, you get these kind of like artists and it's just like, well, okay, you can carry on just like releasing songs and not doing anything and just like hope for the best. But it's like, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
You just have to make it more authentic and true to you, but just you got to, you know, got to move with it.
You have to. I do feel like there's some sort of weird equilibrium in life, like in the world, where it's like, yeah, you do kind of need like, you do need some people to be a bit stubborn.
Yeah, you do to give room for people that that want
to
it
like
more.
you know there needs to be like
A balance.
a balance, yeah, and that naturally just like creates itself. Do you know what I mean? Like that does happen. So it's like, yeah, like it can be a bit frustrating when you meet people like that. They're kind of like they're like really good at like making something, but they're just like they're terrible with other stuff.
Yeah,
Just
that's
like-
the thing. You really need to. I don't know whose book it was. I think it was like, oh God, I think it was like Stephen Barnett. I forgot his name. Damn it. But he was talking about having.
Go on.
I can do this.
What's the book called? Do you remember?
Happy Sexy Millionaire. Damn it, I forgot it. And he was basically talking about having like a bunch of skills to like amplify your skills. So he was basically saying that like you can be the best singer or you can be the best video producer, but if you don't have like A, Y, and Z, then it might be like hard to reach your goal. But for example, if you're like let's say like you want to be like the best photographer, but you know you're a mid, but you're amazing at talking to people, you're amazing at marketing and you're amazing at social media, you essentially end up being the best photographer because you have those skill sets, you know? So I think that's where we are now. It's like not being the best by just being the best at what you do, but being the best at like multiple things. Damn it, I'm gonna like
No. I
can't
get
remember.
what you're saying 100%. And to be honest, I don't necessarily think that's ever been different. I think it's just a bit more amplified now.
Yeah.
And
Skill stacking. That's what it is.
it's still stacking. Yeah. And like, and I've said this like to loads of people, and and they used to frustrate me. Like sometimes, like when I was, you know, a good few years ago, when I still like didn't really understand things. But it was like, I mean, you just see people that like make videos that were not very good. You know what I mean? Like just like content that just wasn't very good.
Yeah.
But like they're getting loads of clients, they're getting like loads of work
Yeah.
and money, and I was like, what are these?
How are you doing it? Oh, you
I'm so much better. Like, but I didn't realize, like, yeah, but they're fucking great at business. They're just
Yeah.
like, they know how to chat to people.
Yeah.
They know how to like manage like clients' expectations. They
Yeah.
know how to do all this like other stuff. And you understand, like over time, it's like, it's like,
now I get it.
it's like, yeah, it's like, okay, now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Like it's not like being, it's not just one thing, you know what I mean? You're
Yeah.
not just a musician.
Exactly.
Like
of things.
that's why like labels and agencies and stuff like make sense in today's world, and not just today's, but in general, is because like, you know, I've got some friends that like are not very good at that stuff, but like that's when like an agency comes to me, like, or an agent, like, I can help you with all this stuff. I'll take a percentage of what you make, but at least you don't have to worry about it. Like, I'll help you promote. I'll help chat to people too. And like, I remember when I was young, I was like, agents? Like, who needs agents? Like why do you need all that? Like,
Yeah.
they take your money. But like, actually, they can be like super useful.
Yeah.
And I know some people that are like, I don't think they would have done half
if
as
they
good.
didn't have that.
Yeah, if it
I
did.
think you need to know when to let people into your team.
Yeah.
I think it's about knowing like when and if, you know. So I think if you are, but the thing is, I think it's hard for certain people to actually realize that they're lacking in a certain area. That's where like ego comes in, because I think not a lot of people like are okay to be helped. So you also need to want to be helped in order to like achieve. So same thing, like you need to be self-aware, because the thing is, I also feel like those people that might not have the best videos, like you said, they're also like very hungry, like. And the thing is, like, they're not scared of rejection. Because I feel like a lot of people are also scared of rejection. Because the thing is, it's like, they're like, oh, no, I don't want to do that. Because, like, you know, they might, like, I know I'm good. So, like, I don't really need to kind of, do you know what I mean? So I think ego plays a big role in all of it as well.
Yeah, of course.
Knowing
yeah,
when
yeah.
to be helped.
Yeah. Yeah. What's your plans then? Like, what's your plans with the music? Like, where do you want to take it?
To be honest, like, before I used to be like, yeah, I have like a 5-year plan, a 4-year plan, a 10-year plan. But to be honest, like I'm really learning to be present with everything. I'm enjoying the journey, and I'm at that stage in my life where I'm not like a crazy devoted musician where I'm like, I'm going to spend all my income on like music, studio, promo, marketing. Because at the end of the day, like, I also want to enjoy life, because the thing is, like, you can't just like, I feel like you can't throw yourself at everything and be like, okay, like when I make it,
Then I'm going to enjoy it.
then I'm going to enjoy. Like, I'm not one of those people. So I'm getting comfortable with the fact that I'm doing enough. Like, I'm releasing a song every 2 months. I'm posting at least 3 to 5 reels and TikToks a week. Like, I feel like I'm getting comfortable with the fact that I'm doing enough, and I'm hoping that me staying consistent and creating quality content will eventually get me the audience that I want. But I'm just enjoying the journey now. Like, I'm just gonna release the kind of music I want, stay consistent, and you know, I just believe it's a case of when, not if, because I feel like having that mindset is really important. Like, I'm already in the playing field. Like, I'm already doing what I want to do, you know. So I'm just enjoying the journey, and
Nice.
that's all really. Like, I'm just gonna try and get new opportunities, reach out to people, not be afraid of rejection, hit people up, just kind of shoot my shot when I can. But at the same time, like, just enjoy life. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like I see a lot of musicians that like, they're like, no, I can't go on that holiday because I need to pay for studio and that. You know, it's just like, okay, like, this is also like having a job, like having my 9 to 5, and financially budgeting myself also helps with my art. Because it's like, okay, this is the amount of money I want to put into my music. This is the amount of money I want to save. This is the amount of money I actually want to enjoy life. Because I think having a work-life, music, content creation balance is important. So I'm just enjoying life.
Yeah.
I'm, like I said, like, I'm staying consistent. I think that's the most important thing. Like, I feel like 80% of success comes from consistency. As long as you're being consistent with the right stuff. Like, you just have to look at yourself like, okay, where was I last year? Am I in a better position? Yeah. Cool. Just carry on. Keep it going.
You sound like you're very systematic.
I am. I'm
Have
very
you always been
disciplined.
this way?
Yeah, I'm very disciplined. I'm very organized. I'm very systematic.
Yeah.
So I think that helps. Like I said, I wouldn't be able to like balance like a 9 to 5, music, content creation, going on solo trips, like if I wasn't disciplined. And I feel like I'm quite financially like responsible as well. So I wouldn't be able to do all of that if I wasn't disciplined and like had a system. So my friends are like, Elaine, how the hell do you do
What's
all of
going
it?
on? Yeah.
I'm like, if you want to, you can. If you
Who's your
want
sugar daddy?
Oh, if only, guys. Look, applications are currently open. So,
Nice. So do you have
I mean, serious, guys.
Yeah.
Applications are open.
yeah. Yeah, I get commission. 10%. Do you have like? I find that really interesting that you're very systematic because like it's kind of how I function. Like if I'm not, then I just like combust. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you have like any principles or any like rules or any like anything that you do for yourself that kind of in your own time that really helps you like sort of keep balanced? Did you have like routines or like?
My Google Calendar is a big part. My reminders app on my iPhone. I'm a list girl. I write everything down. Reminders, notifications, Google Calendar, definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like apart from that, like I don't do anything else really. I feel like I will never commit to something that I know I'm not gonna be able to like fulfill. So I'm also very self-aware about my capabilities. Like, I know when to push myself, and I know like, okay, like Elaine, realistically, you're not really gonna be able to do that. So I'm quite realistic and quite like spontaneous. So I think you really need to know yourself in order to have a system. Because I think if you don't really know yourself, then you can't really create a system anyway. Because if you know you're the type of person that's gonna start something and just like leave it halfway, don't invest money in that. Because I know a lot of people that are like, yeah, I'm going to be a producer. They invest in like the box and this and that and this. And then 3 months later, they're like, oh, you know what? Like, I'm not really feeling it anymore. Because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much effort goes into like something. So I feel like you need to know yourself. If you're going to start that, are you going to be able to stay consistent in it? If that's the case, don't invest money in something, So I think just know yourself. I think knowing myself, like getting to know myself better has helped me stay in that system.
Yeah, and do you think that's just come with experience, with just like a lot of trial and error?
I mean, like, look, I grew up with like a hustler mum. Like my mum was a single parent, so obviously having like a very alpha parent, strong woman figure in my life was obviously like, added to that. But I think it's also to do with personality. I sometimes feel like people are just born with certain personality traits, and I'm lucky that I was born with a disciplined one, and obviously my mum has helped in that. But it's hard. I think like being disciplined is hard, but you just gotta know yourself.
Nice. Yeah, I like.
What do you think about that? Because you said you're also quite disciplined.
Yeah, like I don't know. I'm definitely in stages that I do have to force myself to do that.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like I'm not because I don't have a 9 to 5. Like
So it's harder to yeah.
So it took me a long time to sort of figure out how I need to go about it, and also because like I mentioned to you before, I lived in a house for the last 3 years.
With housemates.
Yeah, I loved it. Like, we're really good friends, but like it was crazy. Parties, everybody's doing something fun. We're all kind of freelance, so like it was just like people in and out the house, and it was just really hard to like have like any sort of meaningful schedule. It's way easier here. That's basically why I moved here, and like no one's in that house anymore. But like we all moved away. But I needed somewhere where it was easy for me to like make a routine and easy for me to follow it, because now I wake up and I know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Yeah, most days, of course, and it's not every day like, but my dad, both my parents are very disciplined people. They're very good. Like they're quite responsible.
Bulgarian parents.
Yeah. Like we all of us come from like very sporty backgrounds.
Oh, nice.
Like my parents were like rowers.
Oh.
A bit of volleyball. My sister was basketball and I'm volleyball. So like we all like did
very
like,
sporty.
Yeah. We all did like serious sport up until basically we were 20, and then my sister didn't. I continued with my volleyball a bit later than my parents did with their sports. But regardless, it was when you do sport seriously, like twice a day, playing on weekends and coaches and blah, 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 and
it kind of gets you in that
like
discipline,
you understand. Oh, this is what it takes.
Yeah.
To like at least to become a professional athlete. But then it's all transferable.
Yeah.
It's all like all these skills, like they're transferable to like other sides of like, you know, business
100%,
career. Yeah, like
100%. Yeah, my mum's a fitness professional as well. So
Is it?
Yeah, I'm a gym girly.
yeah,
So I
nice.
just want to put that there.
Oh, nice, lovely. What do you do in the gym? Just like as a last little bit, what's your gym?
My gym routine. So I do like 2 full body days and like 1 lower body and 1 upper body. So yeah.
4 days in the gym.
4 days in the gym.
Nice.
Yeah, like
Big one.
2 hours.
2 hours in the gym.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and I'm like one of those people that go to the gym at like 6 a.m.
Yes.
on the weekdays, and then during
Come
the
on.
week, yeah.
Sheesh.
We're gonna, you got to fit everything in there. You got to be fit in order to keep this creative
Oh,
stuff
no,
going,
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You need the energy.
Yeah, don't get me started in it because 100%, 100%. Like, so what? 6 a.m. Like, do you wake up like 6 every day? Like, is that your thing?
So 2 days during the week, I'll wake up at 6 a.m. and I'll go to the gym before work. I try to go, so all the days that I'm working, I try to go to the gym before work because it's just like, I just prefer starting my day off like that. And on the weekend, like either Saturday or Sunday, I'll just go during the day. So yesterday was like my gym day. I went around like 2, kind of went to the gym. But yeah, I prefer going to the gym in the morning. I feel like that also makes you quite disciplined. Because like when you leave the gym, you just feel so good.
You're like,
And I
I've
just-
already done so much today.
You've already done like the majority of the day.
Yeah.
So-
100%, I agree. I'm very happy. Like, I was pleasantly surprised. I didn't know what to expect, but like
Yeah, I didn't know what to expect as well. But creatives, we just go with the flow.
Yeah. And not just that, just like, I have a lot of respect for people that are like quite systematic about their life because it's not easy.
Yeah.
Like having a
Did you think I
job.
was messy? You're like, oh, she has an afro.
Well, I
messy.
I just didn't know. Do you know what I mean? You're trying to get me in trouble. But no. I just didn't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, we only met once. So I was like,
Yeah.
I have no expectations. So I didn't really know what to expect. And also, it's rare. That's why I didn't expect that. It's like, it's rare to be disciplined about your health, your like lifestyle, with your work, with your content. It's
Yeah.
not easy. And like, it's nice to hear that you're playing the long game. It's like, you do have to stay consistent.
Exactly. And it's all about long-term gratification, not about short-term gratification.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people sometimes think that musicians, like all musicians, just live like a very unhealthy, messy lifestyle. And they're always like financially on the brink of like bankruptcy. And it's just like, it's okay to have like a healthy lifestyle and still be a creative.
Yeah.
That's why like I never hide the fact that I have a 9-to-5 job on my Instagram because like a lot of creatives do. Like, I don't know why that's always like shunned upon, like,
Yeah. 100. Let's finish with a nice little cute question. Like, if you met your like 16-year-old self, what would you tell her?
I will still tell her this now, but stop overthinking, Elaine. Stop overthinking. Just do things, I'll just tell her to just be present, stop overthinking. Yeah.
And
what
do
I'll
more
tell her.
stuff.
And just do more stuff. Don't be scared of rejection. Put your ego aside and stop overthinking. That's what I'll tell her.
Great. Amen. Nice. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for
It's
having
been a
me.
pleasure. It's been a
I liked
pleasure.
your tea. It was a very nice tea.
Thank you very much. English breakfast, the finest. PG tips.